Our next guest wants you off the fence. Please welcome our beloved Big Daddy, Bryan Garrity.
Bam, Big Daddy's back. Boom! There he is, back in the house. What's up, my friend?
How
you doing?
Good.
So you're telling me that buyers in the marketplace right now need to get off the fence. I'm gonna let you go first on that.
You're gonna debate me.
Before I chime
real
in.
estate debate on my smartest segment? All right. That's okay.
Well, you think buyers should get off the fence. I have to have your reasons.
Well, yeah, I have mixed. Right now, in the way that the climate is going, we all know rates are going to start pushing up. Rates are still low, historically. I know people don't want to hear that, but people somehow or another got so tied into those threes that now when they hear 4.625, they freak. So if that freaks you out, get off the fence, because your purchasing power is going to go down, and our values right now are not going down. Sellers also should probably get off the fence if they're thinking about it, because why not be selling high?
Yeah.
Especially if you think that you're going to be moving. But buyers, what I see happen is this, maybe 3 out of 5 times, the initial meeting with people will be, oh, we're ready, but we just want to wait and see what happens during the summer, or we want to make sure rates don't get too high. If you want to make sure rates don't get too high, you need to lock now or get into something now. Our inventory is low, which sucks, but it's true. It's scary low. That makes me a little bit nervous, actually, just in general, with the inventory being so low, like it's going to have to come back. If I was a buyer right now and I knew I wanted to purchase and I was paying $9,000 a month rent, joking, but that's what it feels like for people, you can be making a mortgage payment and probably be paying less. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah, rent's definitely really high, and that's causing a lot of people
for
to
here,
consider
right?
it.
Especially, they say through 2025 that rents are going to be at least 55% of people's disposable gross income, not net.
That's crazy.
Gross income. So when you think about that's your gross before what you take home. 55%, you can't even get a mortgage at that, an FHA mortgage. But I mean, come on.
That's a risky mortgage.
Thank you.
Pop quiz. Do you know who the #1 landowner is in the United States?
Warren Buffett? No. Bryan Garrity?
The,
Evans?
the Catholic Church.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do know that.
The Mormon Church is second.
That's nice.
And the Salvation Army is third. And the reason I bring that up is because most people have no idea about that.
I did know the Catholic Church part, but I did not know the
so
Mormon part.
I'm still concerned that long term, and this is the one point I'm going to agree with you on before I go to the reasons I disagree. The reason that I agree with you,
yes, sir.
I still believe that in 50 years, maybe less, maybe more, but over a certain period of a couple generations, very few people are going to have the opportunity to own homes. I think it's going to be something that only the elite get the opportunity to own a home, because people are grabbing up land and they're accumulating it, and eventually they'll have it all or most of it. And it'll be very few people who actually have the opportunity to own a home. So that's the one reason why I agree with you. If you're a buyer, you can buy a home, pay it off, give it to future generations. That'll be the only way that people in the future will be able to buy homes.
That's interesting.
I know it sounds conspiracy theorist.
No.
Just look at the trends.
Look at where
look at the trends.
It's rolling out of my mouth. I just said, look where we're at now. Look where it's headed.
Look at the trends.
It's pretty scary. And how like the millennials and the multi-generational families are all starting to load back up into one house. We're seeing a lot more of that. I mean, scarcity of housing, of land. I didn't really even think about that. That's a really, really good point. I'll give it to you back. I mean, people may think
it's very macro, is what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm zooming way out on that. But I do think for a lot of buyers, it's scary right now because they remember the crash, and they don't want to be one of those people who bought at the top. And now we're approaching some of the highs that we saw pre-crash.
6, yeah, right.
And so people are concerned that that it could be the same thing, and I don't have any good reason to tell them it's not, other than my macro theory that eventually, if you can afford to buy a house today, it makes sense to do it if you have a long-term perspective, because I don't know if you'll ever be able to buy a house.
I like your macro theory. That was good. I get an A for that. Honestly, let me tell you, with the implosion, the only thing I would say that happened 10 years ago that's different now, so novel of this, but you have to qualify to get a mortgage. Now you have to make sure you have the assets, you have the income. So when I tell somebody that, they're like, what are you talking about? You always had to qualify. No, 10 years ago, you could get $1 million loan, 12 properties, stated income, stated assets. People were getting into houses they couldn't afford, which caused us to completely implode and caused all the short sales and foreclosures, which I did many of, actually. Traditional sales, much better, but at the same, I'll tell you this, you're gonna hire an agent, that's been through a short sale process or that's done a lot of those are the workers. And I was part of that. Also, having a law degree helps. But I'm going to tell you that I do believe that I never thought about that. Like how the Catholic Church does own the majority of property. I'm not going to talk about the rest of them. Since I'm Catholic, I'll leave it at that. But and I have strong opinions about the other two. But the thing that I would say as a buyer, you really do. If you've been thinking about buying, the scarcity of inventory being out there, rates going up, getting yourself in a bad position. People are afraid they're going to. They're not. It's not going to be the same as 10 years ago. There will be a historical. History repeats itself. We know it does every 7 to 10 years. I think this last implosion really threw us off. And so we may just starting to become out near another correction. I don't think it will implode the same. I think people have a little bit more safety in the way mortgages
We're
are
kind of already
underwritten.
there, aren't we? Like, we were kind of
I
already.
think we're at top of the market.
We're already
really.
where you have to be doing extremely well to own a home.
You have to. I have doctors that come in. Obviously just coming out of their residency, whatever. Doctors that come in that are like, I can't afford more than $500,000 in this town. Are you kidding me? Doctors.
Yeah.
Obviously, will they be able to down the road? Yes. But I'm talking about the youngins, the molecules that are coming out of their residency. And they're having a hard time getting it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, if you were a doctor, if you were a firefighter, there's a great special. I know we're getting off topic. What the hell? There's a great special that Diane Sawyer did. Normally, I would be like, yeah. But it was about the disappearing middle class.
Yeah.
And that really, it made me cry. It did. It really did. I felt bad for those people because when I was a kid in 1900, 1970s, 1980s really. I graduated high school in 83. I'm 51 there. But when I was a kid, if you had you were a fireman or a policeman, or like my dad was like vice president of a carpet company, you took care of your family. You didn't have to work. Your wife probably didn't even have to work. Or if they did, you had a dual income with kids and you had a nice life. We lived in a great community in Orange County. Whoa. I just, for giggles, we'll leave out the first part, but for giggles, I'm like, what that house is worth that we grew up in. Just, wow. I almost felt I was like $700,000. I remember we paid $75,000 and I thought we were rich. Mm-hmm. So, what it is, it's a joke. But it's true.
But what you're seeing, though, and what's the result of that is that, secrets about where it's cool to live don't last long.
Correct.
So,
in North Park.
And I'm just saying San Diego. So, you're seeing people now come from all over the world. Like, look at where the best places to live are. I'm talking about weather, economies, things to do.
Like
and
Austin,
people
Texas.
are slowly, exactly.
Yeah.
People are slowly, from all over the world, migrating towards those areas.
Interesting.
And what happens is those resources migrate with those people.
Right.
And so there's still plenty of places. My hometown, you can still buy a house for $100,000. And you can support your family on $36,000 a year as a teacher. Okay, but the places like this that are amazing, like other places in California, Los Angeles, you just go right up the coast.
Right,
okay,
totally.
And people are migrating in that direction, and so are the resources. So my point isn't that you won't be able to own a home in 50 years, but in San Diego, it might be so difficult that you literally have to be rich. Like $1 million could easily be the get-in for studios, and people would be like, we should have seen this coming. It's San Diego after all.
Right.
The weather's
Well, look
perfect.
what's happening
City's
in the Bay Area. I have a couple that we just sold them a house down here. They bought their townhouse in the Bay Area in 2002 for $272,000. They just sold it for $1.3 million.
Yeah.
To me, those are warning signs. If you were a buyer, I may be a little bit concerned. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, if you can afford, if you can get in, you should do it. There's tax advantages. Talk to your CPA. It's not a dollar for dollar advantage. There is tax benefits to owning a house, but that's something I want people to talk to their accountant about. I'm not giving tax advice, but because your mortgage payment is $2,000 a month does not mean you write off $24,000 a month.
Yeah.
I don't think.
So do with the interest.
Talk to your accountant. But at the end of the day, and we were saying about sellers are starting to get off the fence too, but there's still low inventory. We would need sellers to come off the fence left and right to even try to get normal. So I think that's a really, you know what? It was a really great, this is really great, because I'm going to rip off your theory. Because I think that, no, but I think that like, and I can see that happening. Like where else?
How shocking would it be? Just ask yourself that question. Would you really be shocked?
Not shocked now.
Well, I mean, if it happened then,
Yeah,
in
no.
the future, would you be like,
No,
that makes sense?
But it makes sense even right now. Like, there's where is there left to build here? Like in San Diego, people are like, oh, I want a new build. You got a couple $1 million because even the ones that are on top of each other are 1.2, 1.4. Can you find some a little bit less? Not in like the forest. No way. So
new stuff starts 700.
I'm sorry, yeah, easily, and you're even seeing areas, like people would always say, there's nothing wrong with Chula Vista. I love it. I live there myself. Nothing wrong with El Cajon. But those were areas where people would normally push to when they were having affordability issues to come out of the metro area. Well, heck, you can be in El Cajon and your house is $700,000, as we know. So,
get to the
or
six
more. Yeah. So I think $600,000 or $700,000. And we were saying about for people qualifying. It's really important if you are sitting on the fence, that step of not qualifying or getting pre-approved, fatal misstep. Find out now what you qualify for, so then you can get with the agent. Then you should get with somebody like me, somebody who knows what they're doing. There's plenty of people that come on here that are great agents, like Elizabeth, Nicole. I could name them all. Melissa, I don't think there's anyone that comes on here that's not. I really don't. I think everybody just really cares about their clients and their people. I just want people to know it's a tough market out there, and it's not for the weak of heart. It really isn't. Values are high, and you've got to reset your expectations. That was something else I was going to say with buyers. I get a lot of buyers that say, I want a $375,000 detached single-family residence in Mission Hills, North Park, whatever, and that's like, that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You can't even get a studio, really. Don't
we're,
email me MLS listing of a studio for $375,000. You can find one. I'm just saying, as a general rule, it's not plentiful.
You have to know what's there.
You do. You have to know the market.
Appreciate your time.
Of course.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Commercial free.